Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is going to be a big day for Uhuru Kenyatta, and it's going to either mark the end of Jubilee Party or it's going to mark the beginning of a new Jubilee Party. Uhuru Kenyatta has convened Jubilee NDC, and William Ruto, through the Nandi senator, Samson Cherargei, has actually issued a warning to Uhuru Kenyatta that Uhuru Kenyatta is going to face consequences for holding that NDC. In this video, I want us to look at the consequences which the Nandi senator is talking about. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. I want to be a bit brief and straight to the point. You all know that tomorrow, Uhuru Kenyatta has convened Jubilee NDC. That NDC is expected to arrive at is actually expected to make several recommendations. Amongst them is that they are going to ratify new officials. And that would mean someone like David Murade being confirmed as the vice chair, someone like Jeremiah Kioni being confirmed as the Secretary General, and it is also going to be used to expel people like Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega. Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega. And we also know that there is the issue of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio Politics. That NDC is going to stamp Jubilee stay in Azimio. But William Ruto is not keen on that. But why do you think Ruto, through Cherargei, are warning Uhuru Kenyatta of consequences? As we all know, Uhuru Kenyatta is keen on taking control of Jubilee Party, is keen on revenging, is also keen on taking this war to William Samoei Arap Ruto. Because the other day you saw Ruto, through Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege, expelling Uhuru Kenyatta's allies. So I want to look at some of these things, but in a question way. Number one, the first question is, what can they do? What can Ruto do? What consequences? What can they do to Uhuru Kenyatta? Can they arrest Uhuru Kenyatta for organizing NDC? Can they do that? Can they stop Uhuru Kenyatta from accessing the venue for this NDC? What do you think they can do? Please let me know. Because Cherargei is warning of the consequences. According to him, Uhuru Kenyatta has broken the law. And for me, Uhuru Kenyatta has not broken any law. The law is very clear that the only thing he's not supposed to benefit from is the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act. I don't think Uhuru Kenyatta is interested in that, considering his relationship with William Ruto. But what can they do? Let me know. For me, I don't see them unless they decide to arrest Uhuru Kenyatta, unless they decide to stop the NDC. But can they stop it? How would the international media report it? Can they block Uhuru from accessing the venue? I don't think that's going to happen. The other question is, why are they worried? Jubilee, as a political party, delivered 1.4 million votes to Raila Odinga in 2022. Jubilee Party lost several members of parliament. In the mountain, they lost almost 90% of MPs to Kenya Kwanza or to UDA. But why are they worried? Because my assumption is that Jubilee, as a party, in the eye of Kenya Kwanza, is a dead party. So if a party is dead and they are trying to revive it, Why are they worried? Probably they are worried because they fear Uhuru Kenyatta. And why should they fear Uhuru Kenyatta? They fear Uhuru Kenyatta because Uhuru Kenyatta can stage a revenge against Ruto. You all know that Uhuru really frustrated Ruto. Ruto became the president. And Ruto is now frustrating Uhuru. Uhuru can decide to frustrate, to revenge. And they also know that number two, Uhuru Kenyatta has the money. And that's the biggest worry. And that's why they've always insisted that Azimio demos are organized or are funded by Uhuru. The money. Uhuru Kenyatta Uhuru Kenyatta and the family are one of the richest families in the Republic. So when it comes to money, they can splash it. Because they realize they made a mistake. They can decide, okay, we made a mistake. So they fear revenge. They fear the fact that Uhuru has the money. The other fear they have, and this is why they are worried, is the fact that Uhuru is actually the center that is holding Azimio. Ruto and his team believes very strongly that in case Azimio, in case you remove Uhuru from Azimio, then Azimio is going to die. Because they believe Raila, Kalonzo, Martha Karua, they need someone to hold them together. And that someone is none other than Uhuru Kenyatta. So they strongly believe that if Uhuru were to stay with Azimio, then it means the Azimio coalition is likely to remain together. And in fact, we are in is it the 7th or the 8th month of Kenya Kwanza rule? And the fact is, these guys are still holding together. So there's that fear. They also have the fear that Uhuru Kenyatta can actually decide to try to reclaim the mountain. Uhuru was loved by the mountain. Then the mountain rebelled against him. They supported Ruto. And Ruto's government is not doing well. They're not doing justice to the mountain. So they believe Uhuru can actually revive Jubilee. And by reviving Jubilee, Uhuru can really give them hectic time. And of course, they also know that Uhuru Kenyatta, having served as the president of the Republic of Kenya, has the networks which he can really use to disturb him. Of course, he also has his people in government. So that answers the question on why are they worried. The other question, which is also very important, can they stop the retirement benefit? I'm not a lawyer, but I was reading somewhere. Let me just see if I can get it. I was reading somewhere here on from my computer that this is what the Retirement Benefits Act says. Under the President's Retirement Benefits Act, Uhuru does not qualify to preside over any political party affairs. This is a clear violation of the law he signed a few years ago. He must be ready to face the full consequence of violating this law. That is according to Cherargei. And if you look at what the law says, is that Section 4B2 of the Presidential Benefit Act states that, notwithstanding the provisions of Section 3, the National Assembly may, on a motion supported by the votes of not less than 2/3 of the members thereof, resolve that a retired president or his surviving spouse, as the case may be, shall not be entitled to the whole or part of the benefit conferred by this act on the ground that the retired president has since ceasing to hold office, held office in, or actively engaged in activities of any political party contrary to the provisions of Section 6. So which means there's nothing they can do. There's totally nothing these guys can do. Because according to this law, they can make a result, they can pass it in parliament. But they need 2/3. I don't think they'll be able to gather 2/3. Of course, there's members of parliament from Jubilee. If they join them, probably they might have that number. But again, there is division or cracks in UDA, especially in the mountain, on how Uhuru Kenyatta is being mistreated or treated by Kenya Kwanza. So they might want to attempt that. But in Kenya Kwanza alone, in UDA in particular, there are members of parliament who will not want Uhuru Kenyatta not to benefit from this. So that answers the question is, can they stop it? They can, but only if they can garner 2/3 of votes from parliament. And the other question, which is also important, is what would be the impact of the consequences? Assuming they were to arrest Uhuru Kenyatta, or assuming they were to stop NDC, what would be the consequences? Can Uhuru Kenyatta strategically use the consequences to his advantage? That's the other question. What about the Mount Kenya? Can they reject Uhuru at this point again? Can they allow Uhuru Kenyatta to be humiliated? So those are some of the impact. Because if they were to succeed in stopping Uhuru Kenyatta, then it means Jubilee will go. They will take control of Jubilee, and that will mark the end of Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, on this particular platform, I've always opined that the biggest mistake Uhuru Kenyatta did was his failure to have a strong Jubilee. Uhuru Kenyatta knew so well that his term in office was going to come to an end. The best thing he would have done was that even if Raila Odinga were to win, the truth is, even if Raila Odinga were to win, Uhuru needed a stronger Jubilee to bargain, to protect his interest. Or the other question, which marks my question for this, have they surrendered on their attempt to pursue or to take over control of Jubilee? I'm talking of Ruto. Is it possible that these guys have now realized that there's nothing they can do, so they can only threaten about the consequences? I don't know what to think. That's my take. Thank you, guys, and let's meet tomorrow. Bye-bye.